Hey, Phoenix is rising. Coach T here, and I am so happy that we are on to another year. Sorry about that. Okay. Very, very, very happy. Sorry, guys. Hold on just a moment. Because I am at work. There we go. All right. So there was a few things on my mind, and I just want you guys to be able to give yourselves a pat on the back because it has not been easy. In looking at my own life thus far, I gave myself some not ultimatums but some goals, and we were blessed with being able to get through those goals. And one of those was uh, moving before the end of summer, and that was a smooth transition that only God could have done. And but it also made me. I'm not going to name all of them, but it also made me think about with a lot of us have become tired. I know I've grown tired of dealing with cluster B personalities, aka reptilians. you know. Okay, write, get a notebook, date it, write all your accomplishments. Focus on, see, a lot of times when we're in this spiritual battle, we forget because the whole thing is, and I'll go over this in another live, but the whole thing is that these demonic principles and principalities, when they see us and they know that and after a while, they go through their templates. This is why I've always told you guys, it's a cluster B cocktail. You don't just have a malignant narcissist. You have a sociopath, you have a psychopath, you have a histrionic. These are all demons. These are the demons' names. I was reminded the other day, the Most High said something about, uh, or my guides did, said something about, and with me, my higher self is always having conversations in the spiritual world. Like my flesh doesn't really know what's going on. All of a sudden I'll get giddy and I'll get happy, which has been happening, right? And I asked my spiritual mother a long time ago. I asked her, I said, you know what, sometimes I just laugh. And she's the one that told me. She said, your higher self is excited because it knows what's coming. They know what's coming. Okay. So, and I've seen my higher self, as I've shared with you guys in other podcast discussions. So, anyway, there, there, the whole you got this cluster B cocktail of demons, and so the Most High, my guide reminded me of when there are going to be more who come back in. See, this is the problem when you have Zionists who, because the truth was being told about them, and we're all, they're, I've, I've talked about races of people who basically are for the other side, and there are two main groups. And, and I was talking to the Most High, I said, nobody has ever wanted to listen to me until it's too late. Oh, how could she know she's black, or she's a lesbian, or she's fat, or, how can she know? Why would God bless her? See, that's that jealousy. Jealousy, do not let jealousy, make a promise to yourself this year that you will not allow, allow the Most High God and your spiritual team, your guides, your ancestors, to call you out every time you get jealous and it blocks you from receiving a blessing. A blessing can come in many forms. Because when you write down a goal, so we have this New Year's, right? People write down these goals. When I wrote down my goals, it wasn't just a goal, it was a decree. It was a decree for my bloodline, a decree for my empire, a decree for those who come after me. I've had to cut people out of my bloodline because I'm the one doing the work and they're the ones that are in the world. I had the golden child sister on my mom's side, my half sister, who unalived my mom through witchcraft and projecting her consciousness to the point where she caused her to have high blood pressure and go out of control. This woman has had diabetes, and I mean, not saying that it couldn't happen, but I know I'm going to listen to my spidey senses, and I'm also going to listen to what my mother's told me when she was transitioning. That's how I know it takes 3 to 6 months for the soul to transition. And my mother was very powerful. And I've talked to you guys about Highlander. If you haven't watched that TV show, you might want to go and look it up. There are parts of that that are true when you really seriously become a spiritual warrior and you're in your purpose and you understand the structure. Doesn't mean that you get all of it, but you understand what your role in it is. Those of you who are anime lovers, I mean, that's as close as you get to understanding. You understand that that's why I've told people, your legacy isn't a financial legacy. That comes as a reward from the Most High and the universe and your ancestors in the courts of heaven. That's your reward for going through. So those of you who have made it through 2023, get a notebook because you need to be on that vibration. It's not that it's not coming, but you do still have these cluster B demonic entities that don't want you to get it. Because if you get it, that means that they have been sentenced. And if they've been sentenced, they have to either find another, depending on the nature of their crime. I've had a lot of astral rapists who not only attacked me, but also attacked my dog. This last full moon, I believe, was in Gemini. They attacked me and my dog, trying to cause both of us health problems, physical health problems. And that's why I said, if you have your children, anybody who is in your vicinity, one thing that I learned on my journey when I was homeless, and which was what started my journey in reconstructing, right? I had to reconstruct my bloodline. That's what we are doing. We have been chosen to reconstruct our bloodline because it's gotten too tainted. And it is in the blood. That's why they're trying to graft themselves in. If you read your Bible, they're talking about they grafted themselves in. They were talking about the Ashkenazi, the Khazars. They grafted themselves in. It says right in there. And these are the ones, who have the ties with the demonic principles and principalities. We know them as aliens. It's like I have never met anybody who really wants to, from what little research and things that I've done and blessing, my goal for 2023 is really to stop working, do an online business, get my coaching and the courses that I have really up and for you guys. But I need to have that time and I need to have that space. And so that's my goal. That is my prayer. That's my decree, and so shall it be with the universe's efficiency. So, they will graft themselves in. So you, Phoenix's Rising Academy, you were chosen to break those generational curses, to break those trauma bonds A trauma bond doesn't mean, and these are the definition of trauma bond, I realize, has been set by people who want to perpetuate, who basically want to keep you in the loop of, in that dynamic of cluster B personality and empath chosen, right? Because as a filmmaker, when I went into to go to school for film, I went to school for film, and they would say there's always has to be a love interest, and there always has to be conflict, of course, right? Because we grow in conflict, and sometimes your love interest can just be renewing the love that you have for yourself, right? But there always has to be those two things, right? Those two main things. And there was a third one, but I forget it right now. So you always have to be in conflict with somebody, and the goal always has to be to get love. God's love, your ancestors' love, your soul tribe's love, or to defend it, you know? And so, so when we talk about trauma bond, the trauma bond, what I experienced, the trauma bond. The trauma, it's not a bond that you have necessarily with them, because none of these, and I've said this before, and I'll repeat it myself because I want you guys to understand where I come from. And by the way, my name is Tennille, and I am a transformational and narc coach. And my focus is on Black lesbians and trans women 30 to 50 years old who have survived a relationship with a cluster B personality, and or they're transitioning from trauma of any type, but they don't know how to kind of rebuild. So I am the guide that helps you to rebuild, right? You do the work, and I am that guide. So that's the hero's journey. When you are ready to go on that hero's journey, then I will be here. In New Year, I have a program. It's an 8-week program. I'm not quite clear when it's going to start because, I'm still transitioning, but it is going to be within 2023. But I'm waiting because, when we are chosen and they don't want us to reach people who need, other chosen people need support. A coach needs a coach, as I've heard said in this field. And I agree. And so, I did not go through what I went through for 5 years. Actually, gang stalking started in 2008. And really gang stalking, people was like, well, gosh, that's 20 years. That's a long time. Yeah, because for after 9/11, that's what was the norm. People were literally trained, right? Poop flows downhill, right? So you train people, and that's the thing with the government. They'll put something out that they've already been using, and now Bluetooths have already been used, right? Whatever. I mean, there's a list of things. But anyway, so there's blockages, and so I'm waiting for these blockages coming from these demonic entities that don't want me to reach, and working through my gang stalkers. And I've told you guys about two women, but who have been gang stalking me that I rejected on a relationship, intimate level, and have been chosen to harass me for quite some time, and viciously, murderously. And unfortunately, when the cluster B personalities know that you see them, they get mad because their first fear is you're going to say something, right? When you have somebody who is a sex offender, and you recognize them from their poster on one of the sites that you have to register or whatever, and you can look it up or whatever. When they get on there, they're like, oh, now everybody's going to know me, which is why you have to register, and which is why you can be put on. I forget that website, but it's never updated. Because when I was homeless, I mean, people were pointed out to me, and I'd go and look, and I'd be like, wow, yeah, But some of them slip through the cracks. And unfortunately, both of these women slipped through the cracks. And as a sexual assault survivor, by not just males, but females, right? So it's, and it didn't matter what race, you know? So again, this is why I focus on women who are black lesbians, especially. Like everybody is welcome, but black lesbians, especially, and trans women, because we need that support. We need to have that space to talk, right? Because every day I look at myself in the mirror, that is who I see. I see somebody who is a sexual assault survivor, who was a gang stalking survivor of, over 15 years, who has survived numerous attempts to assassinate or kill me, have me killed, you know, and has gotten through it. And I don't take the credit. I have a spiritual team that really does not play about me. Before, I got to admit, just to be and one thing that you will find about me as your transformational coach is that I am transparent with things that I need to be transparent, so that you know that you are in a safe place, and that you're with somebody, you're being coached by somebody, you're being guided by somebody who actually has been through it. I've been on the streets. Right? I've had people try and prostitute me. I had somebody try and hold me hostage, sabotage everything that I was doing because she wanted to sex traffic me. And then come to find out that she targets black children. And that's another topic, but I'm not going to go off this. So anyway, that's who I am. But anyway, so yes, these guys, these cluster B personalities, these demonic entities, see, the cluster B, they're jealous of you being authentic, but they want to graft themselves in to your legacy, to your bloodline, because they know that it's in the blood. So basically, you've made it, and you've taken it on, even though it's been so hard, Phoenixes, and I understand, but the bloodline got clotted. And you are what is unclotting your bloodline. Your bloodline got clotted. And in order for you to survive, your bloodline to survive, they chose you. They prepared you beforehand. They loaded up your Akashic records. They prepared you beforehand. And they sent you down here to do whatever you're supposed to do, So you are the one that has unclotted your bloodline. And furthermore, like I said, I have cut the golden child out of our bloodline. You killed the head of a powerful, powerful bloodline. My mom was powerful. And I never got to know. You notice how cluster B personalities work to separate you from what they know is a power, what is a power couple. Power couple does not mean that you have to be sexually involved with that other spiritual being, that other chosen person. It just means that if you guys come into the same vicinity, you will nuke the whole entire environment. It's a wrap. And they want to stay here as long as possible. This is why they put everybody in this dream state. I can't even watch TV. I have to watch foreign films to get any type of sustenance and entertainment. That's why I stick with anime, or I stick with just writing. Reading is fundamental. It's satisfying. We need to get back to that, I think, as a thing, because, and here's my thing, is because you have these cluster B personalities who are mimicking the spiritual gifts that we do, to the point that naturally, right, we come in here with these divine gifts. They're not just wrought in trauma, that like the cluster Bs, they were wrought in trauma. And even if some of them did have these natural spiritual gifts and abilities, they've screwed it off. And the universe has taken note of that. And so because they know that in the spiritual realm, like I said, my higher self is constantly in communion with the spiritual realm, with the courts, with the with the soul tribe. You know what I mean? It's making rounds up there. So think about what the cluster Bs. We have to put these things into perspective. So think about what the cluster B is having to is knowing, is watching. Right? They don't know because they're possessed. We're not possessed. We're in partnership. Right? There's a total difference, but it looks the same though. But there's a difference because, like Yeshua said, or Isa said, you will know them by their fruit. So when they know that they've clotted up your bloodline so that you'll die out because they don't want chosen coming down here anymore. They've clotted up your bloodline to the point where you're about ready to take it, and the courts of heaven are talking, and the Most High is like, look, we're losing folks. You need to come down here. Because I remember when they said it to me, and I missed it. I was literally, I ran, like I ran like a coward. I ran, and I was scared. I was terrified because I'd never felt that much evil concentrated in one small city. I think they called it a town, but and this was Olympia, Washington. If those of you who are familiar with it, but so I'd never felt that type of evil. Bible verse: grafted in, they will graft themselves in. Sorry, I'm gonna look that up. I've been so anyway. So count it all joy. So so when you go through this stuff, the Bible is not a bad book, right? But there are other ways of heightening yourself spiritually, right? Anything that we enjoy, they monopolize, they dissect it, they compartmentalize it, they part it out, they put it on a label, and they make it they make it so that you can consume fragments of it but never get the whole piece. You never get the whole pie. So you were chosen to clean up your bloodline, literally to clean it up.
I'll be there for you in a few hours, but in the meantime.
Bible verse: grafted themselves in.
Here are some results from a search.
I want to read that out because this is something that the Most High, and they've been trying to block my crown chakra, and I felt it. It was like, imagine. So again, like I was saying, you were chosen to clear out, to unclot your bloodline. Okay, because they were screwing it up. They were taking what they wanted and leaving other family members throughout the ages in destitute. Only a few were fighting it. But so think about this: when you have your blood's clotting, it builds up. It builds up, right? So apple cider vinegar, lemons, garlic, ginger, all those turmeric, all those help to thin it, right? So that it doesn't clot up, and so there's no congestion. And I'm not a scientist or anything like, but there's no congestion. So you were just chosen to make sure that you live on. Because it is truly in the blood. And when they are able to taint your bloodline with trauma, that's why they do those studies, genetic memory. Epigenetics is a study on the memory of the cells. So when they they want to be precise in how they've traumatized you. Gang stalking does that. So when you're wondering, like I was like, gosh, here I am, I'm doing everything right, and I'm doing what the Most High is telling me to do. The Most High would confirm, yes, this is what I told you to do. It was working, and they stopped it. It's so frustrating, Phoenix is rising, when you have demonic entities working through these cluster B personalities, these creatures who are just houses for demons. It's so frustrating because you know that you should not have a stress belly, that you should already be that was the goal. And so the reason why I'm here too is because I think, okay, I come from a different perspective. It's as far as coaching, it's like I'm going to put the blame where the blame is. The blame is not on me and my bloodline. You didn't attract the cluster B. You were just being yourself. They brought the trauma and the death to you because that is what they are. And you've made it another year. From my clock, it's 11:54. We've made it another year. They tried to kill us. Threw rocks and hid their hands. Dug in dumpsters to try and, after we threw our garbage out, to try and get a piece of hair or a particle of clothing to maybe this time, this death spell or this coffin spell or this break the end of the road spell or this stanky private area spell would work, or you will be alone for the rest of your life because the succubus didn't get paid through you. You made it. So I want you to get a notebook. And I've said this before, get a notebook, write 10 things that you're grateful for, 10 things that you've accomplished, 10 things that you love about yourself, no less than 10. Do this for 30 days. This will help you to renew your mind, retrain your mind, not to come from a place of trauma, because that's what they want. They want you to come from that place of trauma, because you're not going to lose your progress. Like I didn't lose my progress. The progress is in my cells. The body remembers. So the body remembers that we ate good for 3 years. We didn't carb out. We ate more than 80%, 75 to 80% of my food intake was that of salads and vegetables and fruits. The only day, even with intermittent fasting. I just read an article on stress fat, stress belly, and how to get rid of it, and they don't really give you that option, but it's just, it's just getting out of stress. That's how you get rid of it. So you have to calm yourself down. When I was on the streets and they were coming for me, they wanted to rape me, they wanted to steal my stuff, especially when I started working and I got a job and I was making good money and I was saving up. I had people astral projecting to try and find out what was in my bank account. When you got people who know that oh, you're doing this and you're doing that, okay, so now I got to pay more money to this witch doctor or this lalau or whatever these people call themselves. You don't have authority. When you realize they don't have authority to come against you, you have to speak that into existence. You have to make that decree, not a declaration, a decree. You say, no. I decree that any demonic entity on any level, in any timeline, realm, and dimension, in spirit or in flesh, that comes against me and my bloodline will be blocked and have that boomerang, whatever evil they're sending to us will be boomerang back to them a gazillion times, 3 times 3 times 3. So blessed be. The first time I said gazillion, my mind kind of said, oh, that's too much. No, it's not. Put it in perspective. Recently, I had somebody that on the job, I've only been here for 3 months, and she literally tried to end me. But the benefit of doing the works and going through the steps that I guide you guys through, reveal, heal, grow, and show, this is something that's simple, but it's complex at the same time, because you got to look at things that you don't want to see anymore. And my job as a transformational coach and a narc coach is to get you to look at it with no fear and realize that you're vulnerable. There's strength in you being vulnerable. That at this time, and you looking at it, you don't have to tell anybody anything. There's, even if they're astral projecting to you or sending monitoring spirits to you, and I mean, because I've had them like look in, I've actually had them themselves. That's how the succubus was like, oh, you make 25 at the time, you make $25 an hour plus, so you can and you work 40 hours, and basically I'm working in like 50, 60 hours if I needed to. And God was like, oh, hey, you need to take a break, dude. You need to pay attention to the fur babies and stuff. Right? But she knew that I was a good catch as far as that, and I heard her say, I'm going to get you to heal me, and I'm going to get you, you're going to pay me $1,000. Bitch, I'm not paying you a damn thing. I don't know you. And that literally, I did not know this woman. So you see what I'm saying? You came through some stuff that didn't even make sense, that you didn't even have to make up, and nobody would believe you if you told them, because it's Happy New Year. It just changed. Hey, Happy New Year. Phoenix's Rising Academy. Again, get that notebook out. Rewind this if you need to know what to write in that notebook for 30 days. That's the challenge. Renew your mind. So Romans 11:17, and this is the ESV. But if the branches were broken off, and you, although a wild olive shoot, were grafted in among the others, and now share in the nourishing root of the olive tree. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. Because that's what the Most High brought up to me, right? And that the Bible isn't written by the Most High. So, and there's actually mistranslations. There's another book. I have to dig through all my photographs, but there's another book that when I was doing security at a library, that's actually gives what was really said. And but people's like, well, I've been saying this, it's going to change the power. No, it's not. It's going to enhance it. But he just said, this grafting. There's a thing, I believe, with botanists that when you cut a stem and you put it you put something else in it, or you kind of merge stitch, right? And so that's what cluster bees are doing. They're trying to stitch themselves into your bloodline, right? But you made it. It is now 2023, and you made it, Phoenix. And now it's time for you to rest. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to recover. It's time for you to subscribe and ring the bell, so that way you will be notified when I start this program. It's an 8 weeks course. First part is going in about cluster bees, not from the stereotypical clinical. You will get that too, because it's written, right? But with some differences. And then the second part, of course, now that you know better, now you can when we start digging into, okay, what is stuck within me that I need to change, and I need to heal, and I need to grow, right? What do I need to release for 2023? What do I need to release? Do I need to release jealousy? Do I need to release any type of prejudices? I work on that because of I knew this. Most High told me, my spirit guides told me. They said they're using the Hispanics to attack you most, because then when the ship comes in, you're not going to like you may reject it, because you're not going to like who's presenting it to you. See, See how sneaky? The cluster B personalities exploit the fact that you were a spiritual being having a human experience. They exploit your very nature. I had the succubus who has been attacking me for 3 years since I, rejected her, and the Most High revealed, like, I mean, I saw her with spiritual vision, really, you know what I mean? Like spiritual vision. And she was toxic. And she had a demonic, I saw the demonic entity attachment and a little girl. So she has had this attachment to her since she was a little girl. And but she, so here she is, she's like, hey, you're going away, and she expected me, she goes, oh, I'll come back for you. And the Most High revealed something to me the other day too, as far as this person was concerned, that she saw how to treat people by having a pet. So she was literally, she has 4 kids. She just had another kid, I suppose, because she came to me in a dream. I don't follow this woman. This woman stalks me on my social media, and she blocks it because she doesn't want me. I mean, like, I've tried ordering, shirts and from a person, and we got along, and she, she energetically broke that or blocked that. And it's not that she's more powerful than the Most High or my guides or myself. It's just that she attacks when they can't attack you personally because you're too strong and you'll rip them to shreds. They start attacking those around you, like my dogs. They'll attack my dogs. They will also attack people who come in, you know what I mean, who you get along with. Because in this demon's mind, she has DID as well, and so, which means multiple demons. Not only are you a cluster B cocktail, that demon cocktail, but now you have different personalities from the people who attacked you, and they attach themselves to you, right? And so, I mean, and I think for lesbians, black lesbians, we need to understand that we don't have to be the mothers to everybody. We don't have to mammy anybody. They're going to call us what they're going to call us. They're going to all be anything to get us to let our guard down. So that's why I said, when you practice and you're clearing not only are you clearing your bloodline, but you're covering the people who are in your family. You're covering I place covers on people who I don't even know, but I just know that they're a part of my soul tribe. Some of them, they're in the entertainment, and most likely said, hey, cover this person. I've had to pray for people who came to me in the spiritual realm who were singers, and it was a shock to me. I was like, okay, well, so, you know what I mean? I've never met this person. They don't call me. You know what I'm saying? Of course, but we do what we do because it doesn't matter what we do as a career. We're still spiritual beings having a human experience. And especially in the entertainment business, in all realms and all facets, they're getting annihilated because why? They're controlling what we see. All the pedophilia, was coming, specifically from one group who's blackmailing other people. How do you? I mean, I still don't understand. Like, how do you dictate what somebody's career is going to take if you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to harness that person's spirit and that person's mobility. We're minding our own business. That's why I was like, I'm minding my own business, and this person has been stalking me for over 3 years. And she astral projects to me. I have another person who will just throw all this hatred at me. I've had another person who tries to connect to my creativity. Another person who, I think it's pretty much the same people. They're doing different things, right? One person wants to have a parasitic symbiotic relationship because, again, that's how they're grafting themselves in. Since you keep removing me and I have to keep attaching, I'm going to do some ancient spell. I'm conjuring up something, and she tried to connect to the right side of my brain. It literally took which led to my whole body, the right side of my body. And I could feel her because I was like, gosh, why do I feel so heavy? Why do I feel this? Why do I feel that? Hold on. Pretty good, pretty good. Excited. Yep. All right, I just had to let my coworker in. They work at the park near me. But so I had to, why do I feel so heavy? Because this person had attached themselves to me. And so when I say that this person is a sex offender, I know specifically because when you project into somebody else's energy, your consciousness also is revealed to them. And I had been creating digital art to um, illustrate the beauty of black women. And and which you guys can go check out my stores if you like, if I can put the link in the description. Um, and it's under Phoenix's, Rising Phoenix's Designs. So, and so what I felt was this, she was lusting after these cartoon kids. And it's not the first time that I felt it, but it was the first time that it was like just clear as day. That person has not come in like that anymore, right? So what I teach you as a coach is not to be afraid of your natural divine gifts and how you can enhance them. That's what I teach you guys. All right. So, yeah, they're trying to graft themselves into your Akashic records. Is this your phone? Is this you guys' phone?
So that one?
Yeah.
Oh, they gave us the. Oh, that's our phone because I have two of them.
I'm saying there's too many phones now.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, I
They
just
have
wanted to
numbers
ask.
on them too.
Well, these are the old ones. Those are the new ones. But supposedly everybody has a phone. But you had a phone here, so I don't. It's not the phone that's the problem. It's the people who are using it.
The one that we have, we don't have the numbers on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool beans. Almost done. Uh-oh. Uh, it was the first time it was misting today. Just to sidetrack a little bit, but it was misting in where I'm at, and it was so beautiful because, and I've been crying a lot, and that's crying is part of purging. When you cry, you let go of the memories. It's your body saying, it's your body, your mind, your spirit saying, we're done with this now. And so I cried because of the beauty of being able to smell the dirt in the rain. And it was just a mist, but I felt like I was in a spa. It was kind of like the universe was like, here you go, you know? And it was just so beautiful. And I'm really happy with where the Most High has placed us. And I'm really happy for and hopeful for this next year. So anyway, yes. Ooh. So yeah. Yeah. So they'll graft themselves in to your destiny if you let them. But the power comes, your power is in healing your inner trauma, because when you heal, what they do to you in this life, Phoenixes, this is what it is. And I'm going to close with this. What they've done to the chosen in their individual lives, they have done throughout the generations. So when you take a look at you and you heal you, and you make those declarations and decrees, and you start cutting people out in the family who have, like the golden child sister and others, you abused. You're a cluster B personality. You're that mutation. You have to be cut out like cancer. So when you level up, when you heal what's in you, and you continue to enhance yourself and your relationship with the Most High and your soul tribe, right? You keep going, and you keep making, changes in your life, and you keep leveling up, and you will feel yourself literally level up. Like I'm, Generation X, we had the Mario, games, and anytime Mario ate a mushroom, he'd level up, right? And it's kind of like a video game. It's like you keep leveling up, and like Highlander, when you destroy something, when you destroy an entity, then you get that entity, and that is real. That's where they were getting it from, because I know I felt it. So when you heal you, when you look at those things, when you have the courage to face what is ugly so that you can heal it, you are healing your whole entire bloodline. So it starts with you, Phoenixes, because they've been doing it for so long. They follow the same template. Those of you who have at least lived until your 30s, look at the social changes. It's not the only thing that's changed is time, place, and sometimes vocabulary. But it's the same thing. So I am so happy, Phoenixes, that you guys made it to 2023, because that was not what the cluster Bs meant for you. These cluster B demons wanted you to die, because especially if you rebuked them and they knew that they couldn't get anything out of you. They slandered your name, they took your job, they took your house, they took your car, they tried to kill your animals, they tried to make your kids crazy or put them in a home. You lived on the streets, you lived out your car, you couldn't get a job, you couldn't pay bills, you went bankrupt, but yet here you are. So give praise and glory. But now, and let's get focused. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Ring the bell, ding the bell so that you get notified. And I love you. And remember, your blessings are in your ashes, Phoenix. Rise.